One more story. All right, one day they had a quilting every Tuesday, I think. They would meet and quilt at the fellowship hall in the church, and they quilt frames up there. Well, one day they heard a vehicle pull up, and they looked out, and there was prison guards burying a prisoner out there in the cemetery. Well, he was all alone. Just those guards, they were just going to put him in the ground and walk away. Well, of course, these ladies would not have that. So they went in, and Mama grabbed up some hymnals, the Broadman hymnals, and they gathered around, and Aunt Willie Bell preached him a funeral. And they had him.
Now, Alesia,
yes.
So that would be Dr. Tracy Dole, Dr.
Yes.
Thomas Dole.
Yes, that's her grandmother. And she lived across the road. And, okay, her name's Willie Bell. Miss Dot's mother was her sister, Berna Kay. Kay's grandmother was Benny Lou. And then they had one named Vina Ruth and Ernie May. So he never got a boy, I don't guess. They had one boy? Okay. Urban, bless him.
Their maiden name was Thompson, wasn't it?
Ball.
Ball, okay. One of them had married a Thompson.
Yes. Yeah.
They moved off to Mobile.
Mobile. And her husband was shot. They were robbed. They ran a store and he was shot. I remember.
Yeah.
But one day, my cousin, her granddaughter, we'd gone up there to get a jar of pickles or something. We'd ridden our bicycles. And old Buck, the coon dog, Uncle Claude, her husband's coon dog, got, our dog had followed us up there, and they started fighting. Well, Kay's grandmother thought that the dog had one of us. And she came across that road with a newspaper, and she was going to kill that dog with that newspaper, I guess. But when she saw we were okay, she was all right. I mean, she was very scared. But, and another thing at homecoming was Mr. Devon Wiggins. Do y'all know him? Probate judge and
Western Auto.
Western Auto, and oh, that man could sing, and he just made homecoming. He would just, get everybody to singing. It was fun. Good memories, good memories. Our wedding. Now, the thing about our wedding, okay, I have, how many, Miss Dot, of those dozens of those pink-throated roses froze in my cousin's refrigerator? She was doing my flowers. We had Miss Dot and my cousin Patsy were their florist. And they did, and between them and all the ladies in the church, they decorated, they made food for the reception. I'll cry right now thinking about it. And I remember walking in that church before our wedding and just tearing up and just crying because I was overwhelmed by all the love that everybody had a hand in my wedding, and it was special. But those roses froze, and those were all we had left, those few. We ended up having to go, and I cried and cried and cried. And the night before our wedding, we went up to Aunt Willie Bell's yard with flashlights and got gardenias. Well, of course, at the time I thought it was a disaster, but now it's a good memory. And I wouldn't take anything for that. That's special now, So, this is the inside of the church. Of course, that's our families. That was my stepdad, Tom, my mama, Sandra, of course, us, and Granny and Papa. And I know that's so gaudy, but that's what I wanted. I wanted the arbor and the candelabras, and I didn't care how gaudy, because that's what I wanted. But like the magnolias, my brother and my cousin, they climbed trees around there and got them down, and we've had them in all the windows. But I want y'all to see the inside of the church, and that's the baptistry back behind our heads. And it's a beautiful church, the hardwood floors. Another thing that happened at our wedding, and I have people that can testify to this, we had every single horsefly in creation show up, and on the video you can hear me going, "Keep them out of the punch." That was the best. And we had been up there waxing those floors, like 2 days before with the doors open so they dry, and no horsefly anywhere. They knew when to come.
And your mama kept saying, "Talk."
I know, do something. And that's my mama, Sandra. She played the piano when she was 11 years old. She started playing the piano. And my granddaddy led singing for a while, and I really can't remember that. I was too young. And then Mr. Billy's daddy, Mr. Horace, and Wanda's, he led singing, and that man could sing. And I just thought, I mean, I loved him. I just thought he was just the finest man. And pray like he was right there with God, right there with you, which he was, but you could just feel the presence. But we sang number 162 every single Sunday for the benediction. Anyway, we love you. So, another connection, you heard me say Murphys, and we do have a lot of Murphys here tonight. If you're a Murphy, raise your hand. We had a lot of Murphys. And, Miss Grace Holmes, she taught my mama Sunday school. Now Miss Rachel teaches me Sunday school here at Mount Carmel. Another connection, of course, Miss Mary Evelyn attended that church when they were young with Miss Rachel. Another connection, Bard, Miss Rachel's son, leads singing at Mount Carmel. And see, I had his great uncle lead singing all my childhood, all my growing up years. So that's kind of neat to me that I still have a connection, and a connection here in Jay to them. But I'm going to say one more thing, then I'll hush. Y'all have heard enough, I know. The old church has seen many changes through the years, and upon examination of the association meeting minutes, you see ups and downs in attendance and hardships and prosperity, war and peace. But one thing that remains constant is the name Parker and the persistence and determination of the families that have joined them on their journey of faith. And it is my prayer for worship to continue at Elim for many more years.
Hallelujah. Our homecoming is coming up 4th Sunday in June, so everybody can come.
Mr.
The reason the men went down that road, that was their restroom.
Oh! No wonder girls
Back at the corner cemetery, that was for the women. The men had to go down that road towards the spring, and then when they built the first bathroom, they just had one commode. That was the ladies. The men still had to go.
Well, they got two now.
Yeah, they got nice facilities now.
They got a brand new fellowship hall.
Yeah,
I'm glad I was never so curious that I went down. Now I know.
Do you remember anything about the whiskey still, the moonshine still being found on the pastoral? At the pastoral?
No.
No wonder the preacher stayed so many years.
No, that's where y'all lived.
Yeah.
They lived in that
We bought the pastoral
Storium.
and we found that whiskey still. It was under the ground.
The church had rented the old pastorum, and the guy that lived there was an old car shed, and he dug out under it and floored the top of it, and he had his whiskey still under that car shed.
I was going to tell you that Dorothy's family back was Parker's, but I was going to say there was no kin to these because they were moonshine.
Well, now, not a man.
Well, we found
Barnett,
it.
you want to tell your story, Barnett? Didn't you? I mean, you dated in that community up there for years, whatever.
Well, that's
So stand up and tell them
good.
about that car you had.
Oh, it was a blind date. Mary Evelyn, that's Rachel's sister.
Okay.
And I was hadn't been out of service long, and I got me a '55 Chevrolet, fiberglass paint mufflers on it. And I just happened to, have the occasion every once in a while to go out to get her. And I'd fly down that dirt road, And back then it didn't have air conditioners, the windows would be up, but I'd actually suck the drapes or curtains out of the windows when I went by. I picked Mary Ellen up and was coming back to Bruton, and they was all standing on the porch like, what was that?
Well, okay, I asked Mr. Donald and Miss Rachel, but did you ever stop at that park there at the Park Bridge Park?
They're not telling.
No, I already asked them. They said they went to the drive-in.
You and Jake was going to start at the park.
Hey, you've heard that story where I'll hold that pig and what is it? Tell it to me about the little girl. He had his hands full and he couldn't hug her because his hands were full. She said, well, I'll hold that pig.
It was flowing weather at that park. You always had to stop and get some water.
We did.
Who else has got a story that they're willing to tell? All right, go ahead.
Dot Murphy Coleman. There was probably 7 or 8 of us, maybe 10, but we were the choir. I mean, it was all girls. There were boys there, but they never participated in the choir. They just aggravated us. But we would, in the Sunday afternoons, we would walk up and down Silas Creek or go swimming in the mill pond or walk up and down the highway. We didn't have paved roads then. And one Sunday afternoon, we decided we would just pick up the empty cans along the road and line them up in the middle of the road. So we did that. We got to church that night, and the preacher got up, and he was just preaching. He said, and whoever lined those beer cans up in the road just bought them a ticket to hell.
You didn't believe me, did you?
One of the things that I didn't see it in the picture, Martha and I rode up there a few days ago to the old cemetery and the church and everything. Some of them out there, instead of, they didn't have a marker, they just had an iron rock, a big old iron rock that marked the head of the grave and the foot of the grave. The head one was a bigger marker, you know, the bigger rock, and then this was the foot of the grave. But there's no markings on it whatsoever. I mean, nobody scratched a name on it. You know, I guess they was thinking, well, the people in the church know who's buried there. They didn't realize that those people in the church were going to be buried there one day. So there's no record, really. We talked to a guy out there. There's no record, really, of who is buried in some of those graves. But yet they have the iron markers, and they'll be there hundreds of years from now.
Well, and it had gotten to the point that there were a lot of people just coming out there and being buried there because until Mr. Sam, Dot's husband, took care of that, and really, he made it a perpetual care cemetery, and you had to sell paupers. Yeah, you sell.
Well, it's very nice, very well kept.
Yeah, and
in fact, we were up there the day before Memorial Day, and the guy.
It was Jessica's dad, John.
Okay.
John Wilson.
Wilson, okay. Yeah, he was out, and I guess his wife was out there. They were putting the flags to the graves out there of all of the veterans, and he was. I was hoping that he would be here tonight too, but I think Bible school is going on at the church, and they couldn't come. I really wanted somebody to verify some of this stuff she's telling me. I figured he could do that, but
he could.
Yeah,
he is
but
always.
He took us into the church, spent a lot of time with us, and I do appreciate it. It was a very
Isn't it a beautiful church?
Yes, the church is very, very beautiful inside. And who was it played the piano? You was telling me that story. Your mom played the piano.
She played the piano.
And then Rachel's mother taught the
Sunday school.
Sunday school.
She taught my mama
Okay.
Sunday school.